everyone, welcome back to Delusion Priestess channel. You're back with me, Stephanie, and today, starting from today until further notice, I have decided that I will begin sharing more of what I could share, maybe my thoughts, healing tips and tricks, and some other spirituality stuff under the name of series, under a new series called Whispers from Within. And I really hope that this series later could be useful for you in any ways possible. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and follow me in other platforms as well, such as Instagram or TikTok. Let's connect, especially if you could speak Bahasa Indonesia. I do have my other Indonesian contents, more contents in Bahasa Indonesia in my other channel. But if you're not Indonesian, feel free to stick and stay around because I will be back with more contents. Thank you for coming. And I hope that whatever that I could share right now in today's episode could also be useful for you. So, what will we be talking about today? Okay, beautiful souls. Now try imagine this. You walk into a garden. There are roses, wildflowers, sunflowers, and even weeds growing in the corners. Now picture you trying to force every flower to bloom at the same time. Into same height, same color. You'd probably just end up ruining the garden, don't you? And that's what we do to ourselves when we try to become a version of perfected image instead of honoring who we actually are. Today, let's talk about the real foundation of self-love, not just the glittery ones. The Instagrammable version, but the raw, soul-hugging, and honest kind of self-love. So if you're ready to stop fighting who you are and start actually liking that human in the mirror, grab your tea or your popcorn, get comfortable with me, and let's dive in. First thing first, let's get one thing straight. Authentic self-love does not always feel good. Let's start there. It's not always the bubble baths or mirror affirmations, even though those things are cute, I know. But sometimes authentic self-love comes from crying in the shower and realizing that you've been too harsh on yourself and deciding to change the way you have to speak to your own heart, to your own self. Because authentic self-love means you've got to be honest about where you're hurting. And you have to begin setting boundaries even when people do not like it. And you have to begin choosing rest when your mind keeps screaming, do more, let's do more, why are you so lazy? Something like that. And also, authentic self-love also means you have to continue forgiving yourself and standing up for yourself, even when no one else claps for you. I know that we have all heard the term toxic positivity, which on the other hand, it is when we pretend everything is fine, even when it's not. Toxic positivity, on the other hand, says things like, just be grateful someone else has it worse. Dude, don't cry, just be strong. Why are you so, Everything happens for a reason. Just keep going. You don't have to feel it. Like, feel it. Let it go. Or something like that. Yeah, maybe everything does happen for a reason. I believe in that. But toxic positivity only bypasses pain. Meanwhile, authentic self-love meets you there, in the mess, in a shadow, and still has the ability to say, you're worthy. I know that many of us do not know how to recognize our own inner critic, and that's why so many of us may not also realize that we might have rejection wounds within us. And now let's talk about the sneaky voices in your head. That harsh little whisper that keeps saying, you're not good enough. You'll never be as successful as her, or him, or anyone. People only like you when you're successful or useful or just, you're nobody. Don't try too hard to fit in. You'll never make it. Yeah, those things are similar things to that. They are your inner critic. And spoiler alert, those inner critics of yours usually got installed when you're still young, during childhood, often by our parents, or maybe our teachers. I've had some of my middle school teachers loudly saying that I'll never make it, I'll never be successful, or maybe the bullies, or past heartbreaks memories, but it's not our truth. It's not your truth. They're all just some outdated stories, outdated script, trying to protect you from your pain, or from more pain. Because rejection wounds only show up when you begin to overthink every little thing you say. Or second, when you feel like people are always about to leave. Or third, when you begin to sabotage good things because deep down you don't feel like you deserve them. You don't believe you deserve good things. And now, if you're still listening, I believe that you are now ready to heal yourself. You are now ready to face your pain, to face your wounds one step at a time. And I want you to ask yourself the things that I will be asking you to. First thing first, ask yourself, what's the harshest thing or the worst thing I have said to myself? And where did I first hear that? Because sometimes, and more often than not, our own voice is echoing. It is echoing someone else's wound, not ours, not entirely ours. And the first step to healing, it is realizing it's not yours to carry anymore. It is realizing that those pain, those wounds, they're not ours to carry anymore. Let's start there. Let's answer that. What's the harshest or the worst thing you've ever said to yourself? And where did you first hear that? And then how do we actually begin to embrace ourselves? Start small. Start daily. Start gently. You don't have to suddenly love everything about your life and yourself, since no one's perfect. You cannot force yourself to be perfect in like 24 hours instantly. But you can begin with neutrality. Like, say to yourself, okay, I don't love my voice today, but I don't want to bully myself about it either. Maybe I don't like the looks on my face today because I just got some acne. I just got some hormonal acne, like an example given. But it's okay. I could still not love myself. Nonetheless, I could still love myself anyway. Try to begin to speak to yourself like you would speak to someone you love. And notice whenever the inner critic pipes up and comes up, and try to pause, try to teach yourself how to pause before believing each of them. You have to begin celebrating your tiny efforts, not just the big ones. And you have to remember that self-love is not a finish line. Never has been, never will be. It's a practice. It's a daily practice that we need to embody more and make it a practice, a loving practice, loving act that we want to dedicate ourselves to that. A loving action that we want to shower ourselves more with. I know that some days we may feel like a goddess, but other days like a gremlin. And both are okay. Maybe there are days where you just want to sip on your soda. But there are also days where you want to make like some healthiest smoothie on earth. And that's okay. Both are okay. So, my dear, my love, if no one has told you today, you don't need to earn love by being perfect. You're not a project to be fixed. You're a whole, evolving, radiant garden. And even if some parts of you feel messy or wild, guess what? Believe me that you're still magical. If you feel like this message hacked your soul, please give it a little like and maybe feel free to share it with some fellow human who needs this reminder, and of course subscribe. Feel free to subscribe to this channel because we're not done learning together and evolving together. Until next time, please trust me, you'll be alright. But also, I want you to convince me. I want you to make a promise with me that you will be kinder to that beautiful self and mind of yours. I see you. I love you. I got you. And of course, I'll talk to you guys again real soon. But until later, bye-bye. God bless. I love you guys so much.